So the internet, you have learned two things about me today. I draw at weddings and I write unhinged poetry.
We're not sponsored by Coke.
And we're not sponsored by Coke. Hello, the internet.
Hello.
She's done it. She has done it.
She's done it.
What has she done, Michael?
Well, can't believe you have to ask. It. She's done it. I have no idea what you're talking about. You invite me to record these videos with you. You don't tell me what we're talking about, and then you're like, tell me.
Okay, so this is very exciting. I bought loads of ink. Loads of ink. Loads and loads and loads of ink. Loads of different colours. This colour is teal.
Okay, what's that?
Spring green.
Okay, we're going to be here a while. What's that?
Let's not carry on this game.
Oh.
I bought loads of ink and I tested the ink and I found the right swatches, the colours to go with the HOBONICHI colour scheme for the years, which is something that I've been trying to do for the whole time that I've had a HOBONICHI, which is about 1 year now.
So this is the HOBONICHI? This is the
HOBONICHI. This is my 2024 HOBONICHI Techo that I have dropped in and out of and used and not used. This is my 2024 HOBONICHI Cousin, which I also have dropped in and out of and used and not used, but I mostly used it. I've used it more than I've not used it. And then this is my
HOBONICHI nephew.
My 2025 HOBONICHI, which is empty. And this year, so the thing that I struggled with the most this year was that the HOBONICHI comes with these colours on the side. See? They're not that bright on the screen, but they've got like a rusty red, then you've got a brown, then you've got a purple, then you've got a pink, then you've got two greens, then you've got a turquoisey, then a blue, another brown, another purple, another green, another pinky brown red colour. And that was all the colours.
I'm glad we listed them, but we couldn't go through the inks. Never do what I want to do.
But, so what I did is, I have in this pencil case, originally when I got into coloured fountain pens, I bought a bunch of these coloured Jinhao shark pens.
They look like sharks.
They look like sharks. They're really cute. They're cheap. They're effective. They're refillable. I love them. And I bought a bunch of ink in the brand Diamine, which is a British brand of inks that are made in the UK.
Beautiful British ink.
Beautiful British ink. Diamine. There we go. Diamine. In the colour spring green. Made in the UK.
They're made of miners.
Yeah, that's what they're made of.
Beautiful British. No, not those kind of. Get your head out of the gutter.
No, I thought you meant like miners, like coal miners.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main British export.
Good.
But I swatched them all. I went through. I swatched them all. Not all of the colours they do.
She did. She really did. I swatched it.
That.
Oh, baby.
He swatched me do it.
Oh.
He swatched me do it.
Oh, she's got such a big smile on her face. You don't even know. This is why I do these things.
And I went through a bunch of them and I found the colours that I think are the best. So we're going to go through them. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Number 1, for January, I have chosen the colour Monaco Red.
Dun-dun.
Monaco Red, if I pull it up in this book here. I need to find it. I should have. There we go, Monaco Red. When we hold it up against the pages in the new book, I think that that's a pretty good match. It's not a perfect match, but when you write with the colour and the pen, like it cools and it's a bit darker, and then like as it gets a bit thinner as you're writing with it, it's a good match. I think it is a chromatically good match.
And we've all been there, am I right? You're writing with it and it pools and the colours changes slightly and you're thinking, man, now it's a perfect match. I wish I hadn't have gone so light with my colour, you know?
I know you're making fun of me, but
no,
I don't care.
Not at all.
I'm really pleased about this. Anyway, the second colour that I've chosen is this colour. It is called Desert Burst.
Desert Burst.
Desert Burst.
Dessert.
Different word, Michael.
2 S's.
This was a difficult one because it's quite a yellowy brown, but it's like a muted yellowy brown, so it was a bit of a challenge, but I managed it. And if we see it in the big colour, there we go. So you can see when it's like swatched out, and this was swatched with a paintbrush, you can see it's a pretty good match.
Yeah, and we've all been there where you're trying sepia and it's just not quite right.
Well, sepia was too orange.
And you're thinking, man, I need a bit of a desert burst.
Right, I know you're making fun of me. I don't care. I'm really pleased.
What do you expect me to do in these videos? Michael, come record. Record what? Just come record.
We have a healthy relationship. And then March's colour is this colour called Handel. And actually,
Is
they
that Handel?
Handel, like the pianist, like the composer. Handel.
Yeah, I'm cultured. I know.
Yeah.
Composers. We've all been there.
They had a bunch of these colours which were named. Chopin is another one which comes into play later on. But they had a run. Chopin. They had, my old piano teacher used to have a tea towel that said "Gone shopping, Bach soon."
God, you know this story's going to be wild when it starts with my old piano teacher.
Yeah. Anyway, Handel. This colour, it's nice, it's plummy, it's dusty, and the Diamine Inks had this range of, it was like a special edition that they did, which was named after 12 composers, and I was convinced that they were all going to be absolutely perfect for the colours. They weren't exact matches, so I had to do some up and downing in other colours.
And we've all been there.
We have all been there.
And your composer colours just don't quite match.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think this is one of the closest matches of all of them, and it's really, really amazing. I'm really pleased with it. So the next one is Carnation. So if I pull up the colour Carnation, this one was a really difficult one because the more it dries, the more the colour changes. So like when it first went on, it was a bit more orangey. So this one is actually one that I will tolerate because I haven't been able to find one better. But this is one that I probably would want to do like a mix of because it's actually a little bit more orangey than that. But all of the more orangey pinks were too orange.
Okay.
And so I don't know if this is just a particularly difficult colour to match. But
yeah, it seems
I thought it was acceptable.
Fair.
This was the worst match of all of them, but I thought when you see it written out, especially like when it pools a little bit more and it's a bit heavier, it...
What? Don't get mad at me for listening!
When it pulls a little bit, it seems to match a little bit more. And I figure that, you'll see this later anyway, because I'm going to talk about it later anyway, but like in the November ones, ignore any writing, just don't read it. But
don't pause your video right now and read it all. You're trying to cover. You're like, oh dear, I've made some admittances here. This one's a crime.
But like, so this was me trying out the different shades of green, and then this was the Beethoven colour, which is also not a perfect match. But when you see it on the pages together, like it's enough. It's a good enough match, you know.
Yeah, and like, it's totally fair because wasn't Beethoven blind?
No, he went deaf.
Ah, that makes sense.
So yeah, so like the colour, even if they're not, when you're writing with them, even if they're not a perfect match, like you're not going to be colouring in big swathes of this colour, in theory, with the ink. You're just going to be writing with it. And actually, if you put the, can you see there, Mike, that like when you just put the writing next to it rather than the block of colour, it almost looks closer in colour match.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Not almost, it does.
So then we get to May, which
Wagner,
which is another composer, and you can see the ones that are composer colours because they've got the black and grey colour rather than the sepia and black colour.
Oh, on the bottom.
On the bottom.
Okay.
So Wagner, and that was, I know I said that the Handel was the best match, but I think actually Wagner might have been the best match. Because look at that as a match.
Let's just move this little one.
Like, look at that as a match.
Yeah, very good.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's kind of like an army-ish green, isn't it?
It's like a, I would call it an unenthusiastic olive green.
It's like an olive that's lost its way in life.
Yeah, a little bit. Devil fruit, whatever.
And we've all been there.
Yeah. And then this one is, for June, I got the classic green. June again was a difficult one because the greens, if I pull up the other page of greens that I put together, the emerald, the Beethoven and the Sherwood green are like, they're so similar, but actually when you like dilute them down and you thin them out, I think on the camera they all just look black, but when you thin them out, the undertones are really, really different, but just when they're concentrated they're quite similar.
Can we put something black next to them to show?
Go on.
Not sponsored by.
Mike really, really wanted to put this bottle of Coca-Cola in the video.
Because we do a joke about who we're not sponsored by.
And we're definitely not sponsored.
No, that was a legitimate opportunity.
That was a legitimate.
I'm sorry.
I don't think Coca-Cola's black. I think it's a dark brown. Anyway, so I chose the classic green in the end because it's almost got these like reddish undertones to it, which makes it a little bit more brown.
Okay.
And because it's a dark colour, but it's like a desaturated dark colour, which makes it particularly difficult to get to grips with in ink form. Because in ink you generally either have it's almost like you want a transparent dark colour. But the classic green was a great match for that. And then I'll put these as a list in the comments so that you can just look at the list and you don't have to watch the video. But for July I chose Eau de Nil. Again, I had chosen, I had these blues, and then I also had another blue. I also got the teal in, hoping that would be a better match. But it wasn't. The teal was far too dark. The Eau de Nil, again, it's a muted colour, but then I think when I saw written out, and when you scratch it out a bit, the tone I think was it was the least offensive one. I had previously looked at I think it was a different composer. Schubert was the one that I originally bought thinking that would be the perfect match. And I feel like, in terms of tone, that was a great match. But, actually, now I see with the writing, it does look a bit better. But you can see, there on the R, it's too bright.
Right.
You know? I didn't want it to be, dark, but it was too bright. Anyway, so the next one, this is Chopin. And if I show you the Chopin...
Just put an apostrophe here, it would be Chopin.
It would be Chopin.
Chopping of vegetables.
Gone shopping. So I already had a grey.
Earl's Grey,
Called
excellent.
Earl's Grey. Which I can't find. Where are you, darling?
She's not talking to me, by the way. When she says darling, she's talking to the inks.
It's not even Earl's Grey, it's just Earl Grey. I had Earl Grey, and on the screen they probably look quite similar, but the Earl Grey the Chopin was just a slightly more purple colour, and this blue, it is a blue, it's a grey, but it's a blue, but it's like a purpley, it's like a pinky blue, a pinky blue grey rather than a greeny blue grey, and the Earl's Grey was just too stony and not slaty enough.
Okay.
Yeah, those are real things.
We've all been there.
Absolutely. And then September, that's not the wrong colour, September was a colour called warm brown.
And this is a brown that you put on a medium heat for 2 minutes.
Absolutely. I bought loads of different browns, which actually I don't mind having done because I'm going to use them in different wedding drawing pictures thingies.
Right. Okay.
Because the difference between the Tobacco Sunburst and the Raw Sienna is
Have you said that on here before? You
No.
really do. Do the people who watch this know you do?
Yeah, I draw weddings. I do quick sketch painting
She's
with
awesome.
weddings. Do we have any? Do you want to grab?
Oh, okay. You keep
Mike's going to
talking.
get one of the sketches, but I didn't mind getting a bunch of the different browns because I can use them in other work, so that was fine. But the warm brown was it was the perfect match. I think I actually got the warm brown quite early, and then I thought it wasn't perfect, and then I tried all the other browns, and then I came back to it and was I don't know why I spent all that money on other browns. Okay, Michael, show the picture.
So this isn't from a wedding. This is from just the street, and we got it framed because
I had an
occasionally we want to get them framed.
Well, I had an exhibition, and I did a bunch
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
But
What was your exhibition called?
it was called Overdue and Inefficient.
Excellent.
So October, much like this YouTube channel, everything is overdue and everything is inefficient. The October I used the colour Amazing Amethyst. Let me see if I can find it in the book. Amazing Amethyst. Again, it's not I feel like the Handel is almost a better match, but it wasn't quite a good enough match to justify taking it away from the other one where it was a better match. And then I've got an Imperial Purple as well, which was too purple. So the Amazing Amethyst is acceptable. I feel like it should be a colour that is halfway between these two. So I might even try.
Yeah, because it is quite purpley.
It is, but if you look at it, it's just which one was Handel? Handel was February, right? So Handel is this one. So you can see how, can you see how this and that, they're so close together, but the Handel matches this one just better.
Yeah, that's a real tough one.
That is a tough one. I'm glad you think it's a tough one because I really struggled with it. But I decided just to go with the Amazing Amethyst because I thought it was acceptable enough, especially, again, when you see it like written out, I think it's acceptable. I don't think it's perfect, but there wasn't when I was looking at the swatches online, and keep in mind that I have to buy each one to try it. So I didn't have like...
You and I have very different ideas of the use of the word have to. But
well,
sure.
Yeah, but like if I wanted to just see what the colour looked like on paper, I have to buy it. Because I can't, there's nowhere nearby that you can just go and try them and return them. So I thought it was acceptable. For next year, I will probably be using some of the budget to look and try and find a better one.
Okay.
But I will use the Amazing Amethyst for October of next year because I have it and I don't want to be too wasteful.
Yeah, you don't want to be too wasteful. You've only got about 30 inks, and 12 of them you're going to use for sure.
Yeah.
If anyone needs any inks, feel free to contact this channel.
No, they're mine. I have two hobbies, Michael. Doing art and collecting art materials, and the two hobbies are completely unlinked.
Fair.
So November, we talked about November already, and I showed you in the book already. November, with the Beethoven.
No, it's a Beethoven.
With the Beethoven.
She's so easy to make laugh.
So
don't look at any of the words.
Don't look at the words. Don't look at the words. Yeah, the Beethoven colour, again, it's not perfect, but I think when it's written out, it's tonally acceptable enough. And then lastly, we have the last colour, which is Strauss, which is also a composer ink. And that colour, if I find it in the book, if I find it in the book,
Strauss,
then we can see that by the ink colours, the Monaco Red almost looks like a better match. Just like in October, we had the Amazing Amethyst that looks like it could have been a better match for the Handel. The Monaco Red, which is the colour that we used for January, is like, I mean, they're basically the same colour. Like, who are we kidding, guys? Like, look at that. They're basically practically the same colour. They're so similar, and I think that's really unfair. But in the end, I went with the Strauss, and I've been using the Strauss in my fountain pen this month anyway. Clearly, I've fallen behind. We've been unwell this week, so I just did.
That's our DVD box.
I just did like a little bit of writing, and I think it goes. I think it matches. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I think it's just tonal enough. Like, it's not perfect. I lied at the beginning of the video when I said that she'd done it. She hasn't done it. She has done it enough.
Can I tell everyone a little fun anecdote?
Yeah.
Can I just say why the squiggles disappoint me slightly?
Why?
It's a bit of an in-joke that we have, so I have to describe it. I'm going to talk about minimum because when we moved in here, I found a piece of paper where Fran had been trying out an ink, and in order to try out the ink she'd been writing, and she'd basically been writing the word minimum over and over again, and it was like min, mum, mini, mum, and it was just this really long A5 bit of paper, and I read it out like a poem, and I don't think I've ever made her smile that much to this day as when I read out the minimum poem. I've kept it. It's somewhere in my office, I think.
It's in his keepsakes box.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Anyway.
But so when I saw these, I was a bit like, oh, you didn't write minimum 100 times. Did you notice? Because you couldn't physically film a video without me just going, minimum.
Right. So the internet, you have learned two things about me today. I draw at weddings and I write unhinged poetry.
We're not sponsored by Coke.
And we're not sponsored by Coke. That is all we have time for because we have talked for over 20 minutes.
That sounds like us.
That does. That's everything. I'm working on Michael's journal for next year.
What?
And I also am working I have my journal set up, which I will link to here.
Bing!
Thank you. And
sorry, I forgot that I make the noises at the moment. We don't do these videos enough.
And so I'm going to be pre-decorating. Some of them are going to be pre-decorated, and some of them are going to be post-decorated. Some of them I think are not going to be decorated because they need to just be functional. But I will be going through that stuff as well for all of our thousands and thousands of very interested people. You're all welcome.
You're all welcome! You've never said that before at all. The channel has turned to arrogance, everyone. It's time to jump ship.
Yeah.
Find someone else.
I'll
Someone with less ink to their name.
I'll do a really contrite apology video soon. Right. Anyway, now it's gone 23 minutes, so I'm gonna go.
All right.
I'll stop talking, but I think I am.
You're doing a really bad job of stopping talking.
I'm gonna stop talking, so we'll say goodbye, and then I will line out all of the inks that I've got so that everyone can see.
Oh,
them.
cool. Go for it.
Okay, so goodbye.
Is there enough room in the screen?
Maybe. All right. Goodbye, the internet.
Goodbye.